What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tones Overthinks It, the show where I think too much to make up for the people who don't think at all. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the return of TLDR. Anyways, today we're going to be discussing the topic of government corruption, the popular buzzword and go-to explanation for everyone's bad lot in life if you're a sovereign citizen or a First Amendment auditor. For you see, whenever one of these misguided individuals gets arrested, charged, and even convicted for breaking the law, their go-to explanation for it all is that literally everyone from the police to the court system is out to get them as part of a grand conspiracy.
Folks, it's not only in the streets that corruption is real with law enforcement here in Miami, Florida. From the county to the city, to the court system, to the judge, even the jurors in this case.
There is still a lot more work to do to expose this tyranny and corruption.
I mean, it's just an automatic guilty. There's no fairness. There's no fair trial. There's no due process. There's nothing. It's just you're guilty.
I was found guilty. I'm appealing. I'm going to send this to the higher court because Judge Blake is corrupt as fuck. Christine Pratt, corrupt as fuck.
Now, while it is indeed easy to simply write off all these ridiculous claims as complete and utter nonsense, and they are, I am going to do something I don't normally do, and that is humor them. Let's take an actual look and see just what would it take for such a grand conspiracy to happen, and what would everyone get out of it? Now, as some of you may recall, I did do a video explaining the profitability of First Amendment auditors, and one of the reasons for that profitability is that the financial penalties involved in these crimes tend to be very small. One need only look at the case of Sean Paul Reyes, aka Long Island Audit's, trial and conviction in Danbury, Connecticut for his tomfoolery, which resulted in a penalty of a whopping $90.
Think about that. Residents of Danbury in Connecticut, tax dollars for 9 days overtime for marshals that worked in the courthouse, prosecutors, 9 days of a trial for a $90 fine.
Ah, yes, because if any of the people you just listed off are willing to sell out their morals and risk losing their jobs and facing criminal charges, they'll definitely do it for their paltry share of $90. Now, Reyes does also mention the tax dollars that are spent to pay the salaries of everyone involved and possible overtime. But also bear in mind that these people will be showing up to work no matter who is currently on trial. There are no additional financial incentives or bonuses depending on the type of defendant police choose to arrest and who prosecutors choose to prosecute. And of course, all parties involved still get paid even if the defendant is acquitted. So in reality, the only additional money brought into the equation in the event of a conviction are the financial penalties. And while the financial penalties incurred from a Class 1 misdemeanor do vary from state to state, the most common fine is usually around $1,000. So we have to assume these are the rewards that corrupt officials are seeking. And that is also assuming that every single dime collected as a result of a financial penalty goes directly into the pockets of the conspirators. So then, if we were to take a simple instance where a First Amendment auditor was arrested, tried, and convicted for a simple misdemeanor crime such as trespassing or obstruction, how many people would it take to make sure that that conspiracy went off without a hitch, and how much did everyone get paid? In regards to that case that was mentioned in Miami, Florida, specifically in the town of Sweetwater, First Amendment auditor called... Seriously? Rago Monkey? That's his name? What the hell kind of name is that? That name is stupid. Anyways, let's start with the arrest. If in fact it was unlawful and illegal, the entire Sweetwater Police Department would have to be in on it, and not just the arresting officer, because after all, the department would see their report and would probably notice if they committed unlawful arrests, and assuming they're all corrupt, they wouldn't keep their mouth shut for free. That would give us 70 officers. Now let's move on to the prosecution. Now undoubtedly everyone in that office would have to be in on it because again, if anyone wasn't, surely they would speak up or they'd just have to be paid off. The county district attorney's office for this case employs 9 deputy county attorneys, 1 office manager, 2 part-time and 1 full-time victim/witness coordinators, and 8 support personnel. Now it's off to court. Let's assume that only the presiding judge is in on this and has a staff of, 6 people, all paid off for their silence to ensure that none of the other judges in the courthouse or any judicial authority whatsoever finds out that a kangaroo court is being held. And finally, we come to the jury. Now, assuming this was a standard criminal case in which you had 12 jurors and 2 alternates, that's 14 people that would have had to be bribed after they were selected, assuming that the defendant's attorney actually went through the time to interview and select jurors that they found would be fair, unbiased, and not easily swayed by bribes or corruption, or would at least report if someone approached them. So now, that brings the grand total of people involved in this grand conspiracy to a bare minimum of 112. That's right, folks. In order to falsely arrest and maliciously prosecute and convict a First Amendment auditor in Sweetwater, Florida, without literally anyone ever finding out or intervening, you would need 112 people willing to sell out and risk getting in trouble for a piece of a $1,000 fine. How big of a piece? Why, a whopping $8.92 per person. What? Yes, indeed, folks. If you lay it all out, it actually is as stupid as it sounds. But then again, maybe I'm just overthinking it. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like what you see here and you want to see even more in the future, please consider subscribing to my channel. Also, feel free to share your thoughts down in the comment section. I always love to read them. Till next time.